Hello, I'm Beth. I'm one of the editors at Search Press, and today I'm going to be talking to Sarah Simi, who is the author of Sew Your Own Nursery Rhyme, Old MacDonald. Sarah, I wanted to ask you, how did the project come about? How did the book project come about?
It came about because we run a stop motion animation company and we have a YouTube channel which is called Little Woolly Vision, and it's all nursery rhymes, and we've been building up the whole kind of collection of nursery rhymes over the last couple of years. And Old MacDonald has become our most viewed of all of our nursery rhymes. I think it's had about 11 million or so views by now. So the book obviously really came because of that, because it's now that you can make your own book based on the nursery rhyme. All of our animations are made of wool and fabric and felt. So it was a kind of ideal way of having a book so that you can then make your own Old MacDonald.
Lovely. So what were the main sort of differences between creating the book and creating the animation?
The main difference is really our puppets are all wired inside so that they can be, because it's all stop motion animation, so they're all wired inside so that we can move them in all the tiny increments to actually animate them. So we changed the pattern slightly for the book just so that they were more like toys, basically. So obviously we took all the wire out and anything that might be harmful. So there's slightly simpler designs, but essentially they look the same. But yeah.
So what were the challenges between making the toys and making the felt puppets?
I think really just the challenges of just making them still stand upright and still have the right form, even though they didn't have the wire inside to support them. So I guess that was sort of the main challenge of just making them more toy-like rather than animation puppet. Yeah.
So how did Woolly Vision and Little Woolly Vision come about? How did you all meet?
Well, it's a long story. No, it's not a long story. So I came up with the idea of stop motion animation quite some time ago, about 10 years ago. I came up with the idea, not the nursery rhymes, but another rather bonkers idea. And I just thought it would make a really good animation. So I learned how to make stop motion animation puppets. And then I just kind of did some research and tried to meet up with an animator that I could work with to produce our first film. So I found Ed, and Ed Hartwell is now my business partner in Woolly Vision. So I found him and we made our first film together, and we put it into some film festivals and we won a couple of awards, one of which was Best Animation, and we were like, might be quite good at this. So we kind of carried on, and that we made several other films together. We made films for other people. And then a few years ago, we actually set up Woolly Vision together, and Little Woolly Vision is our sort of children's side of things. So, yeah.
So with Old MacDonald, how did you come up with the ideas for that? Because you've got a few different animals in the animation than you'd normally find on a farm.
Yes, well, we thought we'd change it up a bit. So Ed, as I said, who I work with, he has two little girls, and he actually made up a version of Old MacDonald with lots of other much stranger animals. And it really made his kids laugh. So that's why we added it into the animation. So yeah, it starts with all the normal farm animals and then becomes ever more bonkers with dinosaurs and polar bears and penguins and whatever. So yeah, so that's and also we changed it up. We made Old MacDonald a woman as well, because obviously she's it's normally always portrayed as a man. So we decided to make Old MacDonald a woman for this one.
Excellent, girl power. So how long does it take to come up with, as in how long does it take to make each animation?
Well, it's 25 frames for 1 second of film, so it's sort of essentially 25 photographs taken one after the other, and that makes up a second of film. So it depends on how long that particular animation is. Also, it depends if you repeat a certain section, or which often you do in a nursery rhyme, obviously, because it's a repetition. So it kind of depends. So it really depends on the length of it. But yeah, it's 25 frames per second.
So who has influenced you most in making the animations?
Well, for me and Ed, definitely Oliver Postgate. He's like our hero. So yeah, so the kind of, obviously, the things that I grew up watching, Bagpuss and the Clangers and all of that, definitely that's our, and that's our aesthetic as well. It's like we want to have that nod to the kind of vintage and how it was, and not make kind of fast action, in your face, loud animation. That's just not what we do. It's very, very much handmade and hand animated. So yeah, so in the style of the classic Oliver Foskate. So yeah.
It's lovely because it's got that very quintessential British feel as well. Do you think that's possibly why it's so popular as well?
I think so. I mean, I guess a lot of the nursery rhyme channels and stuff that are out there are American based, and so it just has a different aesthetic. So yeah, and Britain does have a real history of stop motion animation. It's kind of where it really came from. So I think we all have that kind of nostalgic feel about stop motion, even if we didn't particularly grow up with it. Somehow it's got that nostalgic feel. So yeah.
Tell me more about your background in design and writing, and how has this brought you to the animation?
I've done many things, but yeah, no, I always wrote. I acted a very long time ago, so that kind of side of it, I guess, comes in, and I've always designed stuff. I've always, drawn something, painted it since I was, I don't know, this big. So yeah, so I've always worked in design, and I've always written in some kind of capacity or other. I used to do interior styling and be an interior designer as well, a very long time ago. So yeah, so I guess all of those things come into play, with storytelling, and I'm very much the sort of art direction side of it with all of our animation. So it's kind of how it looks, basically, is what I do. So
who else is involved in making the animations? Who creates the music, and who else is involved in it?
Together it's me and Ed who actually run the company, but then we use musicians called Steve Pretty and Gemma Store, and they've recorded all of the nursery rhymes for us. And that's given it a really nice kind of vintagey quality to it. It's not all the kind of synthetic music that you normally hear on nursery rhymes, so that's given it a really nice aesthetic. And we use lots of artists who actually make puppets and sets for us. But there's Leanne Bell, who's the main designer, and she's written all of the patterns for the book, which is fantastic. But we use other artists as well for when we're creating all of the animations.
So who do you see the book being geared towards?
I think very much, parents, grandparents, friends. I think it's kind of perfect gift to make the things for perhaps a newborn that's going to kind of grow up with them. So, and again, it's got that nice kind of nursery style feel as well. So it would look lovely in a nursery, even if it's not quite yet being played with. I think it's one of those things that look really nice in the nursery. And I did also subsequently think that the animals could perhaps be used in a mobile or something like that. So you could actually take elements of the book, like some of the animals, and make a mobile for it and stuff as well, if the child wasn't quite at the age of being able to play with it. So I think kind of crafty parents and grandparents would probably be who it was aimed at.
So where did the idea for putting them all into a farmhouse come from for the book?
So we've got obviously Old MacDonald, and then we've got the animals, all the normal animals on the farm. And yeah, we just thought it was a really nice idea. So there's a pattern in the book which is for the farmhouse, which unfolds, revealing a pond and fields and things. But it does all then fold back up, so you can throw all the animals and Old MacDonald back into the barn, and obviously to kind of keep it neat and tidy. So yeah.
So which of the ordinary animals, which of the characters is your favourite?
I do like Old MacDonald, but I think probably the horse, because the horse poos, and I think that's important to have a bit of reality. So yes, it's a pooing horse. There's a pattern for poo. I mean, why not? There is some poo actually here. Yes, there is the poo of the pooing horse.
So what's next for Little Woolly Vision? Are there any more nursery rhymes in the mix?
We've already got all the kind of big hitters, I suppose, of nursery rhymes already on the channel. But yeah, we're going to continue to keep adding to them, and also then to add stories for children as well as the nursery rhymes themselves. And we're also hoping to do some nursery rhymes in other languages and use Spanish nursery rhymes and things like that. So yeah, so that's our plan moving forward.
What books? Any more books on the horizon?
Well, the next one after this is going to be Wheels on the Bus, which another one is obviously an incredibly popular nursery rhyme on YouTube. But our bus is going to be filled with bears, which is rather nice. So all the passengers and driver are going to be bears.
And how about you? And what's in the pipeline for you next?
Just kind of carrying on with Little Woolly Vision, and also our other brand, which is Nudinits. We've got some plans for that to take it to America, which will be interesting. So that's what my plans are.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you.